Hey y'all, tis I, and welcome to week 2 of my journey through the artist's way. I haven't quit. Apparently a bunch of people quit like around week 2, week 3, but I think we're going strong considering I have nothing else to do. But let's jump straight into it because let me just tell you, this chapter, I was in it. I'm talking about in it. Chapter 2 is called Recovering a Sense of Identity. Now that sounds pretty broad and that sounds like it's gonna induce an existential crisis, but honestly it wasn't really like that. I feel like this chapter was a lot less about rediscovering your sense of identity and more like recovering your sense of sanity. Much of this chapter talked about things or people who make you feel crazy as an artist because let's face it, creativity does make you feel like you're going insane. A lot of creativity is thinking like really hard, and when you think too hard, you explode essentially. And according to Cameron, the recovering artist must avoid taking the first think. Easier said than done, but okay. This chapter really dives deep into how what we think becomes what we believe, or how what others feed us become what we think and then become what we believe. And that brings us to the biggest chunk of this chapter, where I was getting continuous war flashbacks. And this is when she started talking about people who are poisonous to you. Basically, these are people who make you feel crazy. They kind of do everything in their power to keep your creativity blocked. And I specifically related to the section where she talked about crazy makers. Crazy makers are those personalities that create storm centers. You know the type. Charismatic but out of control, long on problems, and short on solutions. I feel like I've had a lot of friends in my life who fit this description and the other things that she describes a crazy maker as. And when I reflect on it, they did make me feel crazy. And when we reflect even deeper, they did block my creativity. And I guess I just never really thought about it because it was blocked. Now, if you ask my mom, she will tell you that I was a very overly trusting child. Personally, I don't think that's always a bad thing, but I did have a lot of friends who essentially used me as a doormat, just walked all over me, treated me however they want to, and I just let them. Crazy makers like drama. If they can swing it, they are the star. Check. Crazy makers expect special treatment. Check. They may act as though they hear your boundaries and will respect them, but in practice, act is the operative word. Check. Now let's pause for a second. I will admit that in many of these friendships, I did not set boundaries off the jump. I guess I felt like that if I did, they wouldn't want to be close with me or something, or that they didn't have all these boundaries that they were setting with me, so I shouldn't set the same things with them. It didn't feel fair, essentially. But the key issue was that when I did set boundaries, they were constantly broken, they became a problem, they were ignored. Speaking of problems, crazy makers are expert blamers. Nothing that goes wrong is ever their fault, and to hear them tell it, the fault is usually yours. I got blamed for so much shit, like it's actually insane. And I especially got blamed for things when I would express how something made me upset or uncomfortable. And these people made it such a big deal that I felt like if I protested, that the friendship would just be over. And in majority of these friendships, that's exactly what happened. I protested and the friendship was over. Cameron continues to go on about all the ways a crazy maker will take over your life, and a lot of it I related to. But how does that really translate into your inner artist? Well, for me at least, I didn't want to step out of the box that most of my friends have put me in because that was usually grounds for them to just completely crash out. I remember that when I told some of my friends that I wanted to start a YouTube channel and start posting videos again like I used to when I was a kid because I had so much fun doing it, they told me they would make fun of me if I did that. So I didn't do it. Big shocker. Let's just say, the right people will never make you feel stupid for doing something you love. Now, for my morning pages, I did them. Yay! Yay! I haven't skipped a day, which is good, and each day I've done all 3 pages. I make sure that I do. I will say my emotions have kind of been all over the place this past week. I got offered and then accepted a position that I didn't really feel that completely qualified for, and I felt like I wasn't prepared for the level of responsibility and pressure that that role brings. But doing the morning pages actually kind of helped me work through those feelings. I feel like I was able to calm down a little bit, break down the role into something more digestible for me. I definitely would have gone bonkers if I hadn't been writing all this shit down. Now, if you don't know, I love Spider-Man. Like, anyone who even remotely knows me associates me with Spider-Man. I have so much Spider-Man stuff in my room. You should have seen my dorm room. Oh my god, it was like a shrine. So for my artist date this week, I went to a Spider-Man exhibit. The Museum of Science and Industry here in Chicago occasionally has different special exhibits for a limited time, and their newest one is called Marvel Spider-Man Beyond Amazing, the exhibit. And of course, I vlogged it. Okay, we're in the museum. I don't know if you can hear me because it's really loud in here. Also, there's a lot of people. I'm really scared to vlog. Like, talking. We got about an hour to move into the Spider-Man exhibits, and now we're just like looking at and stuff. Okay, so the reason why these videos look really blurry and you can barely hear me is because I did not record this on my phone. I recorded it on a different phone that I thought would be better because I don't have any storage on my phone, but whatever. Anyways, this exhibit was so cool. They had so much stuff about the origin of Spider-Man, of course. I did think the exhibit was going to be longer than it was, but also Spider-Man is one hero, so, you know, what else? Alright, we're going to part 1. On the part 2, I love it so much because of course I do it Spider-Man. Welcome to part 2. This part included everything to do with Into the Spider-Verse, and it also included all the different spider people, which I love to see, so comment down below to tell me which one is your favorite. Gift shop had a lot of cool stuff, and of course it was all overpriced. I wanted to get a hoodie because I don't have a Spider-Man hoodie. Actually, I do. That was a lie. I'm wearing a Spider-Man hoodie in the video. I don't have a Spider-Man pullover hoodie, but they were $80, so I got a kid's shirt instead. It is a kid's shirt, so I don't know if it's gonna fit. Future Nala. Does it fit? Wonderful. But here's the question. What do I love more than clothes? What else could I have possibly gotten in that gift shop? I love making a mess. Look how cool this is. This is a paint by numbers. I love doing paint by numbers. During quarantine, I ate these up, but this is like an actual like canvas. Like, it's not like the canvas board, like this is a canvas. All of the people in the museum were looking at me like I was crazy, and it took way longer than it should have to ring this up because the ladies said that no one has bought this yet, so they had to find the new barcode for it. I'm just so geeked about this. Week 2 artist date, 10 out of 10. In conclusion, I thought this chapter would bring about a lot more sadness than it did, but it actually just made me kind of angry. Just thinking back on how I was treated as a young lad, but it also made me appreciate the people I have in my life even more who don't make me feel bad for wanting to be creative. So I consider this week a success. I definitely need to work on my vlogging skills, especially in public, but we'll build up to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment to let me know if you're on your own kind of journey into creativity or just whatever you're on your own journey into, because misery loves company and I would love to know. Okay, love you so much. Smooches, bye.